In this video, I will demonstrate how to construct what I call the figure-8 link with beads. And here, let's see if we can get a closer look at this. I call it the figure-8 because in the initial stage of making it, the wire wrap really does look like a figure-8. And the trick is to form this link and incorporate the bead into it. So, let's begin. For demonstration purposes, I'm not going to use sterling silver wire. I'm going to use nickel silver wire. This is approximately 20 gauge nickel silver wire. And for the figure-8 link, I don't really need to cut an exact length of wire. So let's keep it at 5 inches and see how that works out. What I like to do with all my links is cut one length, then measure out and cut a bunch of pieces of wire just to get them ready. Put them on the side, get them ready. It makes the job go faster. I think maybe what we should do for the demo is make 5 links. That will allow us to concentrate on the actual construction of the link and any little details that you might need to pay careful attention to. It will also give us the opportunity to connect the links and make a decent looking necklace, at least the beginning of a necklace. All right. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. How do we begin? Now, like all our links, we're going to be using a variety of pliers. Let me lay them out here so you can see them. We need our cutters, flat on one side, concave on the other side. We need to use our chain link pliers. I sometimes call them needle nose pliers. They have flat jaws. They come to a tapered point. Beautiful little pliers to work with. And, of course, the round nose pliers. Sort of like the chain link pliers, only they're totally round. This is probably the most important pair of pliers for the construction of your figure-8 link. How do we begin? We begin with our round nose pliers. What I like to do is take the piece of wire that I just cut and position my wire on the wide part of the plier. See what I'm doing? Right there on the wide part of the plier. I also, if you notice, I left a long length and a relatively short length. I'd say maybe that's about an inch. Let's see. I'm thinking it's about an inch. Just shy of an inch. And what do? We wrap. Now watch this carefully. In class, when I demonstrate this, I think this is what causes the most confusion for the students. They can't really see what I'm doing. I believe the video will give you a clear idea what I'm doing. I wrap the wire around the pair of pliers to create this loop. See that? Pretty simple. Then I position my plier at the base of the loop that I just created, and I bend my wire around to create a corresponding loop. And that's why I call it the figure-8. It looks just like a figure-8. So check out what we have done here. We have a short length of wire that wraps around itself to create a loop, and then we continue with the long length to create the opposite loop. Now the important thing, extremely important thing, and I hope the video picks this out, when you make this loop, it's imperative that, let's see how close we can get. If we can get close, it solves all our problems. Let's call the wire that shoots out from side to side the legs of the loop. Notice that one leg of the loop is on one side of the loop that's in formation, and the other leg shoots out on the opposite side. The link that we're creating is actually sandwiched between the two legs on opposite sides of the loops that you made. Let's do it again. Put that aside. And I'll take my pliers, and I'm creating one of the loops, like that. Beautiful. Now I'm going to take my pliers and work on the opposite side, create the corresponding loop that will eventually become the figure 8 link. See what we got there? There we go. Here, maybe I can get real close and rotate this so you see exactly what I'm talking about. I know once you have an idea in your head as to what you're supposed to do, you will have no problem with this. Some of my students make ankle bracelets with this link. Others will make chokers with it. I've had people make belts. Another popular thing is to dangle things from the figure 8 link. You can see the way it's constructed that it's easy to attach things that dangle from it. A charm bracelet, for example, would be very, very easy to make with this. So, we have two. What I like to do in all my links is I like to work in series. I don't make one to completion, then start from scratch and make another one, and so on and so on. What I like to do is repeat steps. It seems to be more of an automated process that way, and for some reason it makes it go faster. And here's what I mean. Rather than completing these, let me make the remainder, and then we'll complete them. We have 5 links that are in the works. We have our beads. We're ready to take it to the next step. Now the next step is to integrate a bead into the link that we're forming and then complete this wire wrap over here and then do a little cosmetic camouflage to hide the ends. What I like about this link is an interlocked link. There's no way this is going to come apart. It has that in common with the Egyptian link. The Egyptian link is another example of an interlocked link. And I have some other designs that I want to share with you that incorporate interlocked links. Now, what do? How do we begin with the beads? What I like to do, take a bead, and I'll place the bead on the long end, like that. Let's do it again. We take the bead and position it on the long wire, like so. There's a reason for that. Of course, you could alter the design to whatever you like, but there is a reason why I do it this way, which will be clear in a moment. I want to get them all ready. Why do I do it this way? Prepare one step at a time. Well, just look at what I'm doing here. I don't have a plier in my hand that I'm picking up and putting down to bend the wire. All I'm doing is placing a bead on the long end and getting it in position. But because now I don't reach down for the plier, I don't waste any time with an added motion. It's all the same motion, and it seems to speed the job along much faster doing it this way. But now what I have to do, now that I have it ready, I have to actually construct my first link. How do I do that? I zoomed in a little bit closer now. So hopefully this will enable you to see more clearly what I'm doing. Let's attach the short end to the open end. Oh, why am I calling it an open end? If you look at the link, I refer to the side that doesn't have a wrap as the open end, and I refer to the side with the wrap as the closed end. It's as simple as that. Take my flat nose pliers, get a nice firm grip right about there, and wrap it. take my cutters, place it in the middle of that wrap. Hey, that's nice. You can see that clearly. Cut it off. See where that is? Now I'm going to take my flat nose and squeeze that cut end in. And continue to push it in. I want to tuck it out of the way completely. I want a nice, smooth link without any loose ends sticking up. Now I'm going to use my wire cutters again to grab this other length of extra wire, pull it away from the wall of my link in formation, and move it real close, trim it off. Alright, so what do we have? We have 3 nicely formed links. The beads are facing the same side. How do we make and attach the fishhook clasp? This is very simple. I'll get a straight length of wire, grab the tip of the wire, bend it like so, but I don't leave it as a wide bend. I like to crimp it down. Okay, that's nice. Then I'll take my round nose, put it down at the wide part of the round nose plier, bend it the other way. Once again, I grab it with my round nose, but now I'm going to position it at the tip. I'll bend the wire up a little bit, probably about a 45-degree angle. Place my pliers at that bend and reverse the bend. So I have something that looks like this. Now before I go any further, I need to attach what I'm making to my figure 8 link necklace. So I'm gonna thread the long length of wire from the clasp that I'm forming into the closed end of a link. So that means I'm going to put it on this side. I'll take my wire, thread it in place. Come on. Okay, there we go. It's positioned. I use my needle nose now, my chain link pliers. I'll hold that loop that I just made, grab the length of wire, and wrap it around. So I'm using that excess to make a nice tight wrap. Trim it off. And I press down the wire. There's always a little bit of wire that sticks up, so you want to press it down and make it nice and tight, smooth, beautiful. So that's about it. We just have to continue adding on links until we have something that's an appropriate size. The clasp is in position. And what happens in the end is the clasp just locks into the last link of the necklace. That's it, guys. Hope you have fun making it.